Hello and welcome to GameGuru. This is part 2 of a tutorial that I'll be doing just to show you how to get a basic scene up and going. Just use the basic tools that we've got available here. And there we are, that's the same from last time. I'm just going to quickly just do a bit of playing around, so I'm going to use the hill tool and just try and raise this ground up around the side a little. Both sides really. Probably look a bit naff to start with because it's very difficult to see what you're doing from here, but right now we'll go into test mode, and in test mode I'll just see how it looks, and I'm going to use the editing mode within the game engine to just hopefully sort it out, if it is good enough yet. It's quicker in the main engine to just do major changes to heights of the ground. Okay, we're in. Let's have a look if it's changed it. Let's move that tree out of the way a bit better without me having to move it back, so that's worked okay. Let's go down. Oh, that's not let it work very well there, I've missed it completely. But yeah, it's getting more like it, so I've just got to sort this edge out really. That's just well, I've got to sort a few parts out here. So let's just try and do it in F9 mode. So hit F9 and plus key to increase that a bit, and I'm going to press 4 to get blend mode on, and we're going to see and a bit bigger. Right now, this might destroy my path. No, that's good. It's working as I want. So I just move forward as it blends, holding the left mouse button down. It's a bit awkward to see what you're doing sometimes. In fact, choose page up and fly. So you can see a bit better. Well, sort of can't see quite as well, but you can see what you're editing easier. So it's just keep doing that against the heal tool. And what it does is it sort of heals, rounds things up, and if you've got vast edges like that, it'll flatten them up a bit for you. And I'm going to do the same here. Well, that is actually lowering the rest to suit. It all depends on what you're healing and where, as to what height it goes to. The higher height you start on, the more it'll heal towards that part rather than the lower height, if you know what I mean there. That's looking a bit more like it. I'm just going to float it over and do a few clickies. Won't hurt to do that. It'll only smooth it up and round it up a bit. A bit higher. Tiny bit more. Just flatten it out around here. Right, I think I'll do. If no one to get back out, right, let's go down the path. That's looking a lot more like it. Probably, I might need to widen the path a bit, I think. I don't know, or just add grass, more grass on the other side. So let's go back into the main editor, which I much prefer to do grass painting and things like that in general, apart from fine touches. Put a bit more grass on. In fact, I'm going to go mad now. Now we've got a big hill. I want to put a bit of grass around there like that. Same here. Why not? It will look better. And that is what we're doing. Just tarting it up a bit. I mean, I could probably paint grass everywhere if I wanted. It runs pretty well, but I prefer not to, because then you can change it easier later on. If you want to put some stuff there and you don't want grass there, you don't have to delete it. Right, that's definitely looking a lot better. I think that'll do it for the main set. The back here we need some more stuff, so let's add some more entities. Where is it? I think it's in scenery. We should have some gravestones as default instead of crypt. the altar. There we go. Right, I'll use gravestone 3. Load it up, I think. Yeah, here we go. Zoom in a teeny bit. Which way is it? I don't think it matters. It's hard to say. Alright, it's going that way. Alright. Press B, and that will allow you to grid things. In fact, I'm going to probably change the position of this as well quite soon. So we'll make this look like a bit of a graveyard here, so I can space them nicely. Might be a bit close, perhaps. Yeah, might be a bit close. I'll do one there, one there, and one there, and then I'm going to move further down with them. Like that. Alright, so now it's just click that, click extract, move that there. That one I can just delete. Right, we've got some bit of scenery at the back here. Let's yeah, right, okay. I'm gonna move this as well, so click it, left click it, extract. Don't want to flat on the floor, so make sure you've pressed U because it auto goes to it, and it's in B mode, so actually that's already in position in B, so that's pretty much good. It's not quite the same, so I'll plonk it down there. I know it's gridded now, you see. Now I need to get this marker selected. In fact I don't, let's just do that. There we go. That can be awkward when they're overlapping sometimes. Now we want a door for this because it's an empty church with no door, and that's not much good, so there should be a gate. We don't want the crypt gate, we want the door. It's not in here, is it? No, it's not in here. Where's the door? Oh my god. Is it in buildings for some strange reason? No. Oh, it's a pain with some of these. Fixtures, doors, door. There we go. Yeah, it can be a bit awkward to find things. So you can see it's still in grid mode from pressing B. I think it's facing the right way. Is it? Which way is the right way? I'm going to rotate it like that. I think that's the right way. And because it's in grid mode, zoom out a bit, it should just hit it, apart from the fact that it wants to do that. No. Press enter. Enter will make it automatically place on top, stack on top of an object. So there we go. That should be just in the perfect place, I hope, unless because I've rotated it, it's not now. Right click and get rid of it. And let's try that again. Right, we're in again. I'm not going to bother going down the path this time. Although it's looking better, you can say, well, I'm going to actually. Why not? I'm here. We've got the grass. Dilly 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 doodly doo. Yeah, it still needs a bit more. Still needs something. That little extra. Has the grass defaulted? No, we're still on highest. It's alright. I might have to paint it a bit thicker. But yeah, oh, that door is off. That door is off. So it must be because I've rotated it, I assume. If not, well, it's sort of easy to fix. Just check the old gravestones. I might change, add a few different ones, mix and match them a bit, because that's a bit samey. But then again, not too bad. And obviously, we may need to clear some of the grass round by them or something. Put something extra. I mean, there are some mounds, but they look a bit OTT for me, but I'll try them actually. In fact, I think they're all open ones though, so unless they're all going to be open graves, that's not going to work. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. That door's disappointing. But let's just open it. Yeah, it's supposed to open out. So I've rotated it the wrong way. What can you do? I'm sure this floor. I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm sure that floor should be flat, completely flat for that. So I'm not sure why the grass is showing. Right. Click it. Well, I'm just gonna rotate it the way it should be. And is that still? I think there's still a gap. Yeah, alright, okay. So it doesn't quite fit with the grid there for some reason. That's strange, because normally it does. You just select it and then click on this little axis here, as long as it's in position mode, which it should be by default, and you can just inch it across a bit. Not that much. That much. There we go. That should be fine now. Right, a bit more stuff. Let's have a look in foliage. What can we have? Flowers, bushes. We'll have that bush. Press the I key. Not quite sure why it's that colour. It must be because it's a active object, and then that will sprinkle some bushes about. Now this might be a bit nasty, we'll see. I'll do it for now. Because the problem when you have one type of scenery, it looks a bit samey, so we need to mix and match that with some other bushes. A bit more greener one perhaps. That looks like a bush. Where's the flower there? But yeah, I want a bush. That'll do. It says desert bush, but it looks green. I again. Nice. There. A few more down there. Don't want to get too mad again with anything like this, because it can start slowing things. Once you get bigger, I mean, we're pretty small at the minute, as you can see. It's not too much of an issue. Now, do I continue making something beyond here, or do I do something this way? I mean, we need the road to go a bit further down here. In all honesty, perhaps curve a bit. Oops, didn't want to do that. Oh, no, it's once I've painted grass on. Perhaps a few more trees. Just to make it look a bit more the part. That's okay. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. Woohoo! Let's just move these things again with the little position tool. Just away from the path, because I don't want them on the path. If you move them too far, just remember that when you do this, you're not actually changing the height. So if it's a different height, you might want to press enter and get it to hit the floor. Right, like I say, the trouble is when you start using all this lot, you tend to have to start putting it everywhere, and that's where you start getting issues with speed. All you can do, like I say, you've got to be sparing. Something else I want to put on besides that? What can I do next? That is the question. Right, first of all, I think I'll put a path round the back. So let's go back to grass mode, because I've painted grass everywhere there. Right, we're going to make a path here. Just right click. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just to remove the grass. It only does it gradually, so you have to just keep drawing over it. And just all the way around to there. And we can just paint the path on it like so. If you move slowly, it'll paint a bit thicker, so you don't have to keep going over and over it. Well, not so much. Half a minute to that. Even though I tend to prefer just doing that. Right, let's look at... Oh my god, where were they again? Look at the scenery. Open grave. So I can try an open grave, I suppose, but it's a pity there's no closed graves, and then you could like make them all look completely proper. But there we go. Ooh, bit big for my spacing. That's not good. Do I space them that far out? I'll put it there for now. Okay then, I'm going to space them out. Extract. This is going to be quite awkward because I'm not quite certain how big I need it. So I'll extract this one as well. Sometimes it's quicker just to delete them and just use one again here if you need to make a big difference. So I think that's right on my road. Okay, well, I'm going to just like... Yeah, I'll have to move that as well then. Let's just delete him. Okay. In fact, does it really make any sense there's one there? Well, I'm going to put it there anyway. Right, and... extract you. I would put you... oh no. There. I'm going to go there, there, and there. And you can delete, and I'll delete all of these. And them as well. Certainly got a lot less gravestones. Plop. Right, well that'll do. I don't care for now. I want to leave that like that because I want it to look a bit different. Have we got a spade? I'm sure there's a spade. Where's the... there's it is, the shovel. And I'll just zoom in on that a bit. Take grid mode off for this. Or hopefully take it off, thank you. And put it like that. There we go. Right. Oh, I think that look a bit... I don't know, that look a bit big. Let's try it. Let's see how it looks. Oh! Oh, oopsie daisy. Yeah, that I think that they're not planted. I've created a monstrous mess. These look alright. No, they're all... well, that's a new one on me. Because as they're animated, they are animated, you would think they would just plonk on the floor, but they've just set as physics, so that's going to be a bit of a pain as I sprinkle loads. That can be annoying. Oh, get out of my way. Get out of my way! Right, don't do that. Make sure when you price the first one down that the physics is disabled, because you don't want lots of weirdly falling plants. Okay. Them ones are alright. So I don't use the bushes that often. So that's a nice... probably a bug, to be honest, with that particular object, because they shouldn't do that by default. That is just not correct for them. Anyway, yeah. I can't test that part. See what I mean? I suppose no. When you're in there, it's probably about right, but it looks... it's tall. I don't visit grave sites and check out burial mounds, so I've no idea really, but they never look that big in the films, I'm sure. But anyway, there we go, yeah, I suppose I could scale it down a bit on the height. Make it look less like that building a mountain. Some sort of... I can't think of the name now. Barrow, that's it. Right. Well, it still looks okay with less, but I can't quite understand why they've dug that like that when it's all flat the rest of the way. I suppose I've got to flip back in after it but the fact that the hole is only the same height as the actual floor doesn't help there. Perhaps you've got to sink it, but then again, if you sink it into the floor is going to appear here, so... No! Delete that grass. In fact, F9. Oops, F9. Grass mode. 0 for grass. I'm going to fly up a bit because I can't see what I'm doing. You can see when you're underneath, you can't sometimes see the object. Right click. Come on, grass. There we go. Are you gone or are you on? You're there. That's part of the object. Right. Let's clear the grass out. We don't have grass growing in there. Yeah, and I think that's probably about it for this part again, I should imagine. Not got very far. I'm going to have to fix this. Let's get out and... Oh, it's just the one I've sprinkled the most of. Oh, this disaster. What? I do not, because like what I've got to do is I've got to go into properties and basically turn it off. Without physics on, no. And yes, there we go. Set his mobile, and that should now be stuck in position. I've got to do that for all of them, or, which I think I will do, I've got to delete them all and then replace them with one that is set correctly. Somewhat of a pain. It'd be nice to be able to delete things en masse when you get little issues like that. So yeah, I'll sort that out before the next one, and we'll carry on and we'll start doing something with a bit more stuff. Add to the scene a bit more, but I think I don't want to spend too long designing a scene. I think you've got all the idea of all these tools now. So I'll just add some more stuff about AI and people, characters, I think. So yeah, until next time, I'll catch you later.